Hey, Blackburn Social Club. God bless America. Today we're talking boots, and this one I need to set up a little bit because this goes against, today's video goes against what I typically do on this channel. And I think I've got a good reason for it, so bear with me. For those of you that know me, you know I've got an Instagram channel, Blackburn Social Club on Instagram. I do fit checks, I do style, I do stuff that men my age probably shouldn't be doing. But what's cool about that is that, you know, the exposure from that channel, I get to go buy a lot of stuff that makes for good content. And two, just the nature of the beast is people will reach out, or you have opportunities to review people's gear, because they'll reach out and they'll say, hey, would you like to try this, or would you like to try that? And you know, and I treat that stuff a little, maybe I'm a little finicky, because some of you guys that have reached out to me, I've said no. And what I'm doing when I say no is I'm trying to protect my integrity. In other words, if it's not something I want, if it's not something that I would typically put on there, if it's not something that I would be authentic about, I just don't do it. In other words, I'm just not in it for free gear. Say, for example, people will say, hey, you want to try this t-shirt? Not interested. I mean, I have t-shirts. I do my own, you know, I do my own t-shirts. Some people might say, you know, hey, they'll send you something and they'll say, hey, if you want to, we'll send you a shirt, we'll send you a this, we'll send you a that in return for. And anytime somebody says in return for, I decline, because I will only accept something that I want anyway, I authentically want, and B, no strings attached. I have to be able to tell the truth. I have to be able to tell you guys what I really think about something. So that's a long lead up to the Saddleback Leather Company officer boot. This, so I do have this, there's an intermediary that handles folks that have audiences like mine, and companies go to that company and they look for people to review their equipment, their gear. Now, I knew about Saddleback Leather. Saddleback Leather bags, for several years I've known about them. My wife bought me a wallet from them a few years back for Christmas. I still own it. I have purchased 2 belts from them. These are the Old Bull belts. They are 1/4 inch thick and insane quality. I mean, they will literally outlive me. That is, in fact, that's what their logo is. It says they'll fight over it when you're dead. And that's true. These leather belts are insane. I've owned both of those, bought them with my own money. But then I got contacted and they said, we'd like to send you a bag for you to review. Now, bags are my thing. They're my Austin Powers. They're my bag, baby. So I was all over it. Yeah, I'm a bag guy. I mean, you can see up here, I've got bags. I got tons of bags in the house. I've already shown y'all a few. And I looked at their bag and I told them the honest truth. I said, it's not my style. You know, the one of them I saw was just too small, and I wouldn't authentically carry it. So I just said out loud, I said the content that I do, I'm a boot guy. I'm a big bag guy. So I politely said not interested. And then they came back and they said, well, we're launching a new boot line. Would you be interested? And they had me at boots. If I loved their leather gear this much, I had to see what the boots were about. So that's a long lead up and I could have said it in a few words, saying that yes, I have an affiliate link with them. Yes, if this interests you, then by all means, go buy the boots through my link. If you don't want to see an affiliate link situation, if you don't want to see me reviewing something that was given to me, no worries. Just pass the video along. But this boot was given to me to review. This is their officer boot. Saddleback, they've been in business. They were founded in 2003 by Dave Munson. So that's a ironic name, because they've actually made a Munson lasted boot. I certainly don't think it's the same person, but Dave Munson was a teacher in Mexico, and in 2003 he had been looking for a rugged or a timeless bag, something that would last. He couldn't find what he wanted, and so he designed his own. And people started approaching him, asking him to make one for them, and make one, so on and so forth. So the rest is history. So they've been around for 22 years, give or take. Based out of Texas, which again is I'm a little bit biased. They finally decided to do a made to order or a pre-order on boots. Now let's talk about these boots. Raven black. These are 100% full grain veg tan leather. They're called the officer boot, and it's just simply because that's what they look like. They're a refined boot. Some of the details on the boot, and I'll try to show you without, again, I know it's black and it's probably getting lost, but you've got a curved, perforated or a brogue toe cap, full leather sole, which I'll describe that a little bit more later. Completely calf lined. I mean, in this case, the kip or calf lining is all the way throughout the boot. The leather itself is probably about 4.5 ounces thick, which is pretty thick. And in the box, they actually send you a little piece or a little sample of leather, which I thought was neat. I mean, they showed you how thick it was a little, like I said, a little piece that just to show you how thick it was before they lined it. And so, you know how a lot of boots like the Aldens and stuff like that, when I talk about the combination of kip lining and the leather equaling, like let's say a Truman boot, in this case it surpasses, because they're using a pretty thick leather anyway. But then with the addition of that, I mean, the whole boot feels pretty thick. Some of the details on it, handmade in Italy. You can see that of course it's written on the sole here, but handmade in Italy. And they of course they talk about the heritage and the age of you can go to their website and you can look at all the stuff, but I mean, they've got a really long write-up about how they came to finding the place to make this boot. But 100-year warranty on this boot. Now that's pretty crazy. That's crazy talk to me, because you guys know that we will wear boots out. But for you to put 100-year warranty on something, you got to know that you're making it well, and you got to know that you're making it with some almost hellish commitment to quality or durability, because otherwise you wouldn't just want to eat that kind of a warranty. They list for $679, and they got some kind of membership that you can join, and you could get it as low as $610, $611. But I mean, think about that: 100-year warranty on a boot that's kind of right in that mid price point between Truman and Viberg. I thought that was pretty impressive. I'm gonna keep talking about the boot just so that I can get through all the details, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, so I'm purposely keeping this a little bit monotone, just because, again, I don't want to mix my thoughts just yet. More details is the stitching and the, again, I don't know if you can see because it is a black boot, but 3-row stitching on pretty much most of this, and like I said, my apologies for this just being a dark video, but there's 3-row stitching, and they're stitches, the stitches per inch are high, the count is high. They are fine. It's fine, like Viberg, not crude at all. So it's really, really. Again, the name officer boot fits. It fits. The curved toe cap. You can see that there. I'm trying to catch it in the light. The curved coat. This is gonna be tough. The curved toe cap adds a cool. Like I said, it adds kind of a cool. I don't know, like I said, a refinement to it. And what I will notice, and I'll put some video in, is when you talk about the creasing that usually happens across the toe box or the vamp there, it does kind of work with it. So it keeps the creases back and it keeps the front smooth. Low profile. It is a structured toe, but it is very low profile. Very narrow in the waist and in the heel. So when you put this on, you genuinely get a good lock in around the heel, and of course that Munson last is it's kind of wild for me because, again, I don't know that my foot shape needs it, but when you put it on, you do feel that it's kind of nice. It feels appropriate. Let me think. Stainless steel eyelets, 4 eyelets, 3 speed hooks. These are some kind of a combination speed hook. They're not milled, but they have that. It's like a pressed speed hook, but they do have the look of a milled speed hook, but they are not. You can see on the back they are the I don't know if you can even see that. Black boots are hard to show off, and my apologies for that. But these are the kind that press in, and you got the expanded metal on the back side. Again, just to see if I can't show you. I've got lights and everything set up here, so the apologies for not being able to show you better. So can you see that? That's the kind of, like I said, they're not hidden. One of the cool things about it, what I noticed, let me say this, gusseted tongue up to the top of the eyelet here. Thin tongue. I've seen people critique Truman before for having too thick a tongue, and I've always wondered why that made a difference. When I put this boot on, it was with a thin tongue. It kind of made sense. It really is more comfortable against your foot and your ankle, and the way your ankle needs to move. It's kind of more comfortable. So they do have a thin tongue, easy to get your foot into, and again, fully lined. Sorry, like I said, either my eyes are shot or these boots are way too black. But again, raven black. So let me show you the other one for a minute, and I'll start talking about my style or my thoughts about the boot. One of the things that worried me when I first looked at this is, one, I don't typically wear boots with a leather sole. My only experience with boots like this were the Wolverine 1000 miles, and I sold them because I did not like slipping around in a leather-soled boot. And that's a lot of times that's what I do. I'm coming up and down stairs, I'm walking on concrete, and usually boots like this are a little bit dangerous when you get into those situations. So really and truly, when I looked at this boot, I thought, well, that's not necessarily my style. I would love to see if they're going to start making this boot with some sort of a half sole, because if you Saddleback, if you're listening, give us a Dr. Sole half sole option, because I think people would jump all over that. I know I would. The quality of the boot is unmistakable. Again, the attention to detail, pull loop, you'd have to see the 3-row stitching to appreciate. It's, again, high stitches per inch, high attention to detail, a little bit of added, pizzazz, flair with the brogue toe cap and the curve on it. I can't see any faults. I love the thick, comfortable leather. I love the story. I love any kind of an American story where somebody just says, I want better than I can find, so I'll make it. And I love seeing that they've done well. Steel shank, and they've got that built up shank in there, so there is arch support. It's not overly prevalent, but it's definitely there. And like I said, just a good looking boot. Now, again, from a style standpoint, I know I'm going to wear them, but I'm going to have to wear them to special situations because they are a dress boot. Like I said, when you say an officer boot, to me, the name makes perfect sense. This is a dress boot that needs to be worn with the right outfit, or at least that's my take on it. Like, for example, I came out here this morning with a pair of bootcut Levi's, and I put these on, started to get some B-roll, and I just didn't like it. Now would it have looked better with the right kind of jeans? Now these are some faded Levi's. I didn't care for it. So I go back inside, I put on these green, dress pants, Dockers, and that made for a better fit. So if I'm being honest, I think that if you took a boot like this and you made it a little bit more, maybe a different color, like I said, maybe did the sole, half sole like I'm talking about, I think then you got something that could wear a little bit more across several types of outfits. But this is a dress boot, and I would not, like I said, it's not a knock on the boot, or it's not a knock on the quality of the boot, or it's not a knock on the company. I just wouldn't wear this very often because I don't dress that way very often. But you can bet, and I'm thinking of a couple scenarios right now in the future, award ceremonies, dinners, weddings. You can bet this boot's going to have a place. So long talking boots. Like I said, I know that there are going to be some of you folks that, again, I wanted to make the commitment a long time ago that I would not mix the two channels. I would not mix companies that send me things to wear and take photos of on this channel. But then I thought, how could I have a boot like this? How could I be given a boot like this to review and not bring it to you to see? So again, if you don't trust my thoughts on the boot by now, I am not swayed by a free pair of boots. They are a good company. I appreciate inside the bag that I got. And this just, like I said, this may piss you off. It may trigger you, or it may make you see something. But inside the bag that I got, there was a little book of scriptures. And like I said, to me that means something. I like supporting American companies that are living the dream, giving people jobs. So yeah, I think that kind of stuff is cool. I think the boot itself is well made. I think it's sharp. I think it's dressy. And so if that's your style, they make them in 3 colors: ox blood, English tan, and raven black. Goodyear welting. Some of the things that I probably missed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys be blessed. Tell me what you think down below. And for, like I said, if you guys want to see more about these, about Saddleback, like I said, I'm impressed. Talk soon.
It's just like you never learn. Diamonds on my mind. I'm freaking all night. Always on the grind. Look at me now.